But when I go to heaven, I'm not limited to that anymore. So I'm going into my Arab lifetime. I'm going into my Pleiadian lifetime. All of that reabsorbs into me. I go into the oneness. So my experience in heaven, or the quantum, we may even call it, because heaven actually means expansion. We expand into our all again, because we're actually expanding not just back into our own data, but everyone's data, because we become connected back into everyone, because we are everyone.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited. I'm thrilled to have Rachel Corpus with us today. And one of the most fascinating aspects of Rachel is that she's actually an angel. And I'm not sure I'm going to explain this correctly, but she's an angel in human form. And I don't run across too many people that have this beautiful gift. I'm not even sure how to say it. It's not really a gift. This construct or the aspect of who they are in this capacity. And I'm really excited to dive into the experience and who you are, Rachel. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. What a gift in my life. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for everyone here with us today.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun conversation. So I'm so excited about it. Rachel does have her own podcast, and she assists others remembering their divinity and uncovering their true natural gifts, which is so extremely important at this time. And this is another reason why I want to have this conversation with her. We're also going to touch on the multiverse, the new earth, and the way that humanity is evolving. So let's jump in. Rachel, first of all, let's talk a little bit about how did you discover that you're an angel in human form?
Ooh, wonderful question. And I did get to discover it, which was, of course, a big turning point in my life. And I'm grateful that I got to discover it. I'm really grateful that I didn't come in knowing it. What I came in knowing, as many of us, I think, came in knowing, I knew that I knew that I could see people that had passed. I knew that I could see what I called angels because I grew up Catholic.
Mm.
And so going to Mass and Wednesday night catechism, I knew what religious angels looked like. Yeah. Gowns, halos, wings, the Michelangelo angels. I knew what they looked like. And I could understand what animals were thinking. So I was a psychic child. But when I was 4, my family was in a car accident. We were hit by a drunk driver. And so I had my first near-death experience. And so these angels that I had been seeing in Mass, they took me out of my body. And, excuse me, my phone's under my bum. Stop that. Sorry about that. Bye-bye. They took me out of my little body, and they took me to the heavenly realm. And they said, honey, this is your actual home. Sure, you're on Earth for the time that you're there, but you're also from here. And you can talk to the dead, you can understand animals, but you have this understanding because you're one of us. And I also was aware at that time that I had my little 4-year-old voice and I had this grown-up voice. And I didn't know that voice. And it's this voice you're hearing right now. And I was asking them, who's that? And they said, that's your consciousness. That's the part of you that will always speak. Mm. That's the part of you that stays with you when your body dies. So I was getting to know her as well. And that was just wild to me. And I actually didn't like that voice. I didn't like it at all. I thought, that's a screechy grown-up voice. Can I change that? No, you cannot. But that's why I remember that near-death experience so clearly, because I clicked into my adult consciousness. But that is why I know I'm an angel, because they took me there. They gave me a tour of my workspace, the seraphim realm. And as I was seeing it, I thought for the first time, I actually had this duality there where I was seeing it for the first time, but I had that, I almost liken it to déjà vu. As I saw it, I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. That's where I keep my shoes. Oh, yeah, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember you guys. It was this very wonderful, surreal reunion. I knew everything there. I knew the smells. I knew the colors. So that's how I know. And I've been back several times, whether it's a meditation or an out of body experience, astral travel, or more near death experiences. I've been back several times.
Mhm.
That's how I know.
So, just out of curiosity, what does it look like?
Oh my gosh. Some of it looks like Earth, but with more brilliant colors, some colors that we don't have here. And it also has a quality where you can walk by grass or flowers and you can feel them, I don't want to say speaking to you, but communicating with you.
Mhm.
And we get a little, maybe 1% of that here, where sometimes you can feel the consciousness of a tree leaning to you or communicating with you. We have a tiny bit of that here. But there, we're in complete communication with all beings. There is a quality of heaven where it's everything is humming, and we are not separate from anything there. We're woven into it. There are scents there in heaven that we don't have here, colors and scents. Um, there is also no time there. So there's no time gap. So if you are thinking of something, it can be presented to you right there. It's not a material place. However, if it serves you to have something with you in a material sense, you can have it. So there are libraries there that are energetic libraries. Say the Akashic records are there.
Mhm.
And that's an energetic library. But if it serves someone to go in a library that looks like an actual library or a meadow where every blade of grass is data, it can show up that way. And so the seraphim realm where I'm from, when I see it, part of it looks like a nursery because that's where the unborn babies are, or the people. There are many people that, I'll say souls because they're not all people, but souls will hang out there because they're creating their next incarnation. Or perhaps they go there sometimes after their incarnation is done to regroup or to go with their soulmate group to craft things for their next incarnation or to meet there with their ancestors. So there are beautiful meeting places, and that could be a room or it could be a cabin. It could be um, maybe a lovely, I've seen a meadow space. I've seen the most gorgeous marble conference room. But see, this place adapts to what the soul craves. Can also portal into a Palladian place or an Arcturian place. This place is not earth-based, even though, what I may know in this existence is very earth-based because I'm in a human consciousness right now. We're multidimensional beings. So when we go to the heaven space, we are not anymore limited to what we know here based on what we've learned in our school system. Maybe I read Huckleberry Finn and I've read the Bible. So, maybe right now what I'm thinking about heaven branches off into those memories from my childhood here and my learning here as an American English student. But when I go to heaven, I'm not limited to that anymore. So I'm going into my Arab lifetime. I'm going into my Palladian lifetime. All of that reabsorbs into me. I go into the oneness. So my experience in heaven, or the quantum, we may even call it, because heaven actually means expansion. We expand into our all again, because we're
Mhm.
actually expanding not just back into our own data, but everyone's data, because we become connected back into everyone because we are everyone.
Mhm.
Connect back into everyone because everyone is God. We connect back into God. So we connect back into the database of everyone, connect back into the database of love. It's
Mhm.
quite exquisite. And I don't want to overcomplicate it because it's so beautifully simple when we go there. It's so simple and lovely.
Yeah. Well, what I've noted, I like the idea that it's simple, because the way that my guides constantly tell us what's we're shifting is that we're getting back to the simplicity. That, it's like we have to get rid of all of the mumbo jumbo that
Yes.
we're so intertwined with, and they describe it as emptying out our mind. And the more
Yeah.
simplistic our mind is, the more that we're connected. Is that
Yeah.
is that how you see it?
Yeah, there's no more need for dogma. There's no more need for, if there is any rule that's needed, it could be the rule that if it's loving, go with it. If it's not loving, out the door.
Oh, I like it. So, how do you live everyday life with this knowledge? Because again, you're in human form and you have to deal with the 3D world. And this is the biggest problem that people have with looking at our transformation and becoming higher dimensional beings is, I don't know how to deal with this 3D world and be in this heavenly body. So, how do you cope?
What just came to my mind from my guides, the image that came to mind is scraping a grill after you've grilled out meat. That cleaning off the grill.
Uh-huh.
That's my constant. Honestly, that's my life, where I'm always scraping off the goo, because in this existence for me on the 3D earth, I really love my life. I really do. Full stop. And it is my personal task here to make sure that I am retaining, or maybe that's not the right word, friend, but making sure that I am keeping my angelic vibration while not ignoring my feelings as a human, my responsibilities as a human. But as I feel my feelings, take care of my responsibilities, I can feel all of the energy, all the vibration that goes with those things, but realize I don't have to identify with those vibrations as if they are my own. My true vibration is the angelic vibration. So, what I've learned to do is, let's say I have a big bill to pay and it makes me nervous. All right, well, I'm going to let that bill make me nervous. There's nothing wrong with that. I put that in my timeline for some reason as an angel. So I'm going to let that play out. I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to pay that bill and I'm going to let the feelings be felt. But when I notice that that's really tripping me up, then I'm going to pay attention to it and wonder, who does that feeling really belong to? Why is that limiting belief in my subconscious? Because that's not really me. Now, how can I alchemize that or work with that so I can actually get back into my true vibration, which is my angelic vibration, because all of that belongs to Earth. And none of us really belong to Earth. We're here to learn. This is our major internship. This is a classroom. That's how I've learned to deal with it. So I don't ignore anything. I allow it to be a teachable moment or a teachable season sometimes. And I've learned to not disregard anything, but allow it to be the teachable moment or the teachable season, and then alchemize it when I'm done learning from it and get back into my angel vibration as much as I can. And I do that with whatever tools are necessary, whether that's therapy, whether that is, whatever spiritual practice is needed. And that is, I think, what they're showing me with like scraping the grill. That's how you scrape the goo off or the calcified stuff, right?
Mhm.
That's the best I can tell you, because I think when people hear that I'm an angel, they might wonder, gosh, that must be easy for her. An
Mm.
angel on earth. Wow. You get up every day and you're bright and shiny. And no, that's not it at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So does your angel self understand that? I mean, do you have that understanding that you're still here to have a human experience?
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, so that's why you don't get to wake up all shiny and everything
Mm-mm,
okay
quite
every
the
day.
opposite.
Yeah.
And when I had my first near death experience when I was 4, before I came back, they did show me what my life would be like. They showed me a lot of the things I'd go through. And as a 4-year-old, it didn't mean much to me.
Hmm.
They showed me that I would be married and that first marriage would be a divorce. They showed me that I would be pregnant a few times and those babies would not be born. As a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
none of that meant much to me. It was like I was watching a movie. Okay, will I still get to play house? Can I still play school? I was in that frame of mind.
Yeah.
And they showed me some things about the world. Also, it didn't mean anything to me. It was like I was watching an action movie. It didn't mean a thing. What meant most to me when they showed me the world playing out was they showed me that my mom would be sad if I didn't come back. That was the most meaningful thing, and that's what brought me back to the earth.
Mm.
So I did see that I would have personal hardship. Looking back on it now, what they were showing me was, hey, if you decide to go back to earth, your personal mission will be understanding the human condition so you can be an appropriate helper. If you don't understand the human condition, how can you be an angel on earth? You won't be able to relate.
Yeah.
So if you say yes to this, it's going to be a doozy. I don't know if I fully understood what I was saying yes to, but they knew. They knew I would be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Source never, it's true. Source doesn't give us something we can't handle. We can
Right.
always alchemize it, no matter what it is.
Yeah. So I'm curious, as you were talking, I started thinking about, so do you have a soul within your angel form, or are you just in
Yes.
angel energy?
Yes, I do. I do because the the construct is we are all spirit, we have God within us, and then we have soul that has our personality. Our soul and our ego play together. So
Hmm.
I have ego and soul, and that personality is based on this lifetime. And then if I choose to incarnate again, or if I'm asked to incarnate again, that soul and ego will be designed again.
Hmm.
So it's my spirit that is the consistent. That's the part of me that will never change.
Okay. Well, okay. So spirit, when you're talking about spirit, um, what is it? Between, so, oh my gosh. So it's like, what is the definition of a spirit? And I can't think of the other word that spirit's always compared to. Um, you know,
Consciousness, maybe?
tell me what the definition of spirit is to you.
Spirit to me is the God stuff in all beings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our God self. That
Okay.
is spirit.
Okay. So what is the definition of God stuff?
It is the God DNA that runs through everything. That is spirit. So all of us, it is the part of us that is God without skin on. So
Okay.
spirit can be a tree, spirit can be a ladybug, but it would be spirit, it would be the ladybug without the ladybug carcass. It would be the tree without the bark.
Hmm.
It would be the person without the skeleton or the body. It would be the Buddha without the Buddha.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the difference between a spirit and the energetic body? Is
I don't think there is one, except
okay.
that the energetic body, we would define that as pure source
Okay.
versus the soul, which is also energetic. But in this definition, the soul houses the personality and the ego.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just rather specific.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does the angelic realm interact with us on a daily basis?
Oh, I think if this veil, if the fourth, when the fourth dimension, when she really shows up, people are going to be dumbfounded by the amount of interaction that the angels actually have. It is incredible. We are boots on the ground all the time. And there are so many types of angels that are working incognito, they say. So there are, I'm going to start with the worker angels. The worker angels, of course, they have names, but they are not named in, I would say, our culture. So there's a worker angel assigned for everything. I mean, in my office, I have this lovely vintage pink chair. And I even have an angel assigned to that chair because I have two lovely kitties who love to like scratch their nails on furniture, right? I mean, I have an angel right there that'll say, no, 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 no. I mean, even that, there are angels everywhere. If there's a street being worked on or a street that's starting to pull apart, there's an angel for that. Literally, there are angels everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there are angels assigned to every living being. So there are guardian angels. Every person has an angel assigned to them, at least one, sometimes more. And so that angel never changes for people. And angels are not human most of the time. And so every person has an angel that was assigned to them at the point of their creation. And that angel doesn't change. And I know in our culture that when people die, we say something like, oh, grandma got her wings. How lovely. We can keep saying that. But if we're looking really at the definition, angels are energetic beings made of love, unconditional love, and energy. And they know our family on the other side and our friends, but they are angels and our family are human.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have guardian angels, we have worker angels, we have archangels. Archangels are not limited to time and space, so they're here for everybody. They kind of serve as managers, even.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all of these angels that are, boots on the ground, helping all the time. And they're often here to neutralize situations that we kind of get tied up in our ego and our worry body because we can only see what's right in front of us. But the angels are designed to see the whole spectrum and they can see the whole situation. So they'll whisper in our ear in a way that we can feel, but not always hear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's called angel speak. So they'll talk to us and say, just wait 5 minutes. Here's some perspective. They'll work in our dreams. They will dress up in a stranger's costume or maybe in our boss's costume or something like that. And they'll give us an idea that we can't see when we're awake so that when we wake up, we have a little more peace in our heart or understanding. They also show up when we're awake through animals. They easily communicate through animals because our animals, especially our domesticated animals, they are from the angelic realm. So they easily have an agreement with our cats, our dogs, our bunnies, our horses. Wow. They communicate quite easily. They watch us through the birds around our house. The blackbirds communicate easily with our angels. So through their song, they will give us light codes. They'll download things that we need to know about our health, about our safety. I've never heard wild birds communicate to us about our money, but I suppose they could, but they don't know much about that. It's usually about our safety and our health.
That makes sense. Most birds don't have a checking account.
Right? I've heard them talk about food before. Yeah, but those are some ideas about how angels help.
Yeah. I'm going, this may jump ahead a little bit, but I want to ask this question because we're talking about angels. At the end of August, beginning of September, I got a very strong message that the Angel Brigade has landed.
Mm.
And does this sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details then. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because so many people, when they feel like they're struggling through their life, they expect that when the message came through that the Angel Brigade is here and that they've landed, and as you said, boots on the ground in this massive number, people automatically, when they heard that message, thought that all of their struggles, all of the things that they perceive as being hard, that everything would just disappear. And
Oh.
so I get messages back. Well, I thought you said that they were coming. I thought you said that they were here, but we're still struggling. We still have the wars. We still have conflict. So can you kind of, first of all, let's talk about the Angel Brigade. But the other part is, can you help people understand that it's not like this beautiful wave of angels and then all of a sudden everything just disappears and we're living in nirvana?
Okay, well, it's a beautiful thought, beautiful question. Archangel Michael, he's the facilitator, or we might even say the leader. He's so humble, so he doesn't always like to be called the leader. But honestly, from my perspective, he is the leader of God's army of angels. And I see him rallying the group of angels that are, he looks like Thor. He's so gorgeous. And then when he's not leading the army, he can be a little bit pudgy, like you just want to squeeze him. And then when he's leading the army, he's very muscular and he looks like Thor. So you can tell when he's on the job and when he's not. And he'll even sometimes wear a hoodie when he's not leading, and you just want to cuddle with him. He's so wonderful. But around the time you're talking about, late August, early September, he was in his muscular form. And I saw all the angels behind him, and I could hear the drum beat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing up ready for battle. And it was not about a fighting battle. It's never that. It's never bloodshed. It is we're ready to we're ready to move out and go into the dimensions. And it wasn't just Earth. It was going into other planets, and in addition to Earth, and to bring the helpers. That's what we've been seeing. And we've been hearing it in Galactic Council meetings as well. Not a draft, but an invitation. Who's ready to go to Earth? Because everyone's been watching Earth. Let me say that differently. Other planets have been watching Earth because we here on Earth have a great opportunity to finally do things differently. We've had this opportunity other times and we've failed.
Yeah.
This is the time where we can come together and be more cohesive, kind, and they're watching us. We also have an opportunity to accept help from other galactic nations. We've been offered help before, and our nation and other nations on Earth have said yes. But then when the other galactic nations have come to help, the target has changed. And we've made agreements with angelic beings, ultra and extraterrestrial beings. We've made handshake agreements, sometimes paper agreements, but then the resources that have been given have been used for weapons. And that has been around the Vietnam War and before. So now what they're waiting to see happen is the advice and the resources that are given. How will it be used this time? Not only that, but all the beings that are coming in to help, they're pushing in, it feels to me in my body like prayer. They're pushing in good thoughts, prayer, love. And there are enough people here just in their homes as they go on walks that are receiving that as feeling. People are different, open differently now. Okay, now the question of, well, why isn't it working? It is. It is working.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have free will. We signed up to be born with free will. We did not sign up to say, hey, when the help gets here, then they'll hit a button and everything's done. That is not what we asked for. We asked for collaborative help. We didn't ask for the easy button. It's not what we signed up for. That's not Earth. Maybe that exists on another planet. I haven't seen it, but that's not what we signed up for. We signed up to have our helpers come and help us step by step, because that's what is here on this Earth. It is collaborative, gentle help. What we created, the mess we created, collectively, we ask to collectively heal it. And that's what's happening. And it will take a little while. The other thing they show me, oh, my ear just started to ring. The other thing they show me is that the third dimension died a long time ago. It's not in existence. It's like a bell that's rung, and we're still living in the resonance of that bell ringing. So when people are in the belief set that, well, war is still happening, hunger is still happening, yes, correct, but it's part of that old resonance still ringing. Nothing new is being created. It's just part of that, pardon me for being gross, but it's like the old fart smell just still dissipating. Okay? Yeah, really, we're actually in the fifth dimension. And
Yeah.
the more we just let that old dissipate,
Mhm.
or and let it dissipate and take steps to Febreze it out with our, being good to each other, creating new methods of being good to each other,
Mhm.
well, then we can witness the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension doesn't mean that we deny our thoughts, our feelings. It's not happy fun time all the time. It still has its spectrum. We're still human beings in there. So in regards to people that might believe that once we get to the 5D, it's rainbows all the time. Well, maybe at some point, but it's a process to get there. So we're still feeling the resonance of the death of the 3D. That's what they tell me.
Mhm. Yeah, and I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, I have felt for years that the Earth has already shifted to this higher
Yeah.
vibrational frequency. It's just us that are having to undo and unravel again everything
Yeah.
that's been created, and we're in the unraveling stage. Is that how you would?
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah,
It's really hard, I think. I'm just speaking for me personally. Transitions change, even though we want it so much. We're slow to change.
yeah. Yeah. And the hard part about it is too, is that like I can shift and change, but when there's so much of the old construct around, it's trying to have, it's kind of having to figure out how to maneuver through these old constructs, the old ways being, the old belief systems, that old stuff, and being able to maneuver through and stay in my energy, stay in that new way of being, and not fall back into the old way of being. And that's why I asked you the question of how do you maneuver through, knowing that you're this beautiful angel energy, high vibrational energy, and then having to figure out how to maneuver through, these old belief systems, this old construct, and stay in that energy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, because we're always vacillating. It feels like we're vacillating between the 3D
yeah,
and the 5D, and then
absolutely.
there's the spirit world in between.
Yeah,
And so I do a lot of singing, humming. If I make my tea, even though now I have it as we're talking because it lubricates my throat, but I do a lot of tea meditations where I let myself just hold the tea and drink it. I make this an event where for 45 minutes to an hour, it's just about drinking my tea, connecting back to the water of the earth
yeah,
and to the tea leaves that were grown. And what I would do maybe a few years ago is, oh, I have 5 minutes to drink my tea. Okay, gobble, gobble, gobble.
yeah,
But I've allowed myself to have a different relationship with time and water and things that are grown from the earth. This has changed my vibration, friend. I've also started to do things differently, like now I talk to my money. Things that I
mm,
thought I understood that didn't have a consciousness before. The angels have retaught me everything has a consciousness.
mm,
And it's not that money didn't have a consciousness before, it was sleepy. And everything now is awake. So now, let me pretend for a minute. This is a business card, but let me pretend it's money. I'll take some money and I'll say, "How are you today? What do you need from me today?" And I'll listen, and I'll get answers back because we're connecting vibrationally. This dimension is more awake and vibing than it was last year and the year before.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we now have the ability to have conversations with things because we are more awake. The inanimate objects are now animate.
Mm-hmm.
We can do this now. And because that's happening, the fourth dimension is feeling safe to talk to us. We can talk to inanimate beings. We can talk to money. We can talk to anything that we thought we couldn't talk to before. We can. And that's opened up a portal to talk to other dimensions, other beings. It's quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this used to happen, but it does now.
Yeah.
And we have this invitation to go and talk to ourselves as multidimensional beings. I have to be honest, I don't know if other people were doing this before or if it's just me, but I'm so grateful. What do you think about this, Lisa? Do you think this is new to Earth? Has Earth opened up?
It's the most amazing time, because I see, I have, because I do private sessions, and I do private sessions 6 days a week, and I talk to an abundant amount of people. The greatest gift
Mm-hmm.
I could ever have, because I
Yes.
am witnessing this. I'm witnessing these beautiful humans that are shifting away from these old constructs and coming into a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of love, a greater sense of understanding. And it is phenomenal. I mean, it's so amazing. Every day I'm just like going, people keep saying this isn't happening. I am witnessing this. But the advantage
Wow.
that I have is that I get to have conversations with people. I get to see,
Yes.
and when you're not in the middle of this world, the only thing that you can see is your experience and what you see that's happening outside of you. And people are living their everyday lives and staying in those old belief systems of judgment, of living in fear, of hatred, of anger, of holding onto their pains, and being the way that we were taught to be, from society and from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at it from, like being the observer looking at the outside, there still seems to be like there's a whole lot of chaos. But I call
Right.
but there's an underground. There's an
Yes.
underground that it's like what I'm seeing is everything is shaking, and this beautiful energy is rising up from the ground, and it's moving up, and I can't believe they're saying this word. It's infiltrating.
Yeah.
it's infiltrating, that old heavy energy. And
Yeah.
absolutely, it's and I don't want to say that we're changing. I think we're just becoming more aware.
I think so too.
Because I think it's always been here. We've always had this ability, but we just didn't
They're waiting
know.
for us.
Yeah, we didn't know it was possible. So yeah, it's every day I sit around in awe every day.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do too.
yeah. It's amazing. So we've talked so much about the third D, the fourth D, and the fifth D, and
Mhm.
the way you had mentioned the fourth D is kind of the spirit realm. And of course, I
Yeah.
think we all see things a little bit differently. The way that I see the fourth dimension is I call it the hallway. And it's
Mhm.
kind of like, okay, well, we've shed enough of this heavy 3D stuff, and we've gotten glimpses of the 5D stuff. Now I'm in the hallway, I'm in the transformation stage. And one door opens back to the 3D, and the other D opens back to the 5D. And I'm just trying to figure out which direction do I go? Do I go over here? Do
Yeah.
I go over here? And, we're trying to shift. So how do you see the fourth dimension?
I love your definition of it. And I think that's really positive because in the angelic realm, the way we work with the fourth dimension, she has a female personality, much like Mother Earth,
Uh-huh.
and she's quiet. And when we talk about the fourth dimension like she's a veil, that's not as accurate as one might think. She's a dimension of herself,
Yeah.
in herself. So it is Dimensions can be thought of as quite small because they can be very compact, but there's so much in there.
Yeah.
And so the fourth dimension, she can hide herself, and she's been kind of hidden because we don't really talk about the fourth dimension that much. We've been so focused on the third and the fifth.
Yeah.
If you think about the third and the fifth kind of right on top of themselves, where's the fourth? Well, she's right in there. She's been housing us. She's because we are spirit. So our bodies have been in the third. Our higher selves may be hanging out in the fifth. I don't know, but all of the spirit world hangs out in the fourth dimension. So our disembodied spirits, elementals are so busy in the fourth dimension. Well, whenever you close your eyes at night, whenever you blink, all the babies who are waiting to be born, when they are kind of not in heaven, not in their mama's bodies, but they're just kind of in hanging out, they're in the quantum. You can say the quantum realm, that's the fourth dimension. That's that whole space. Well, we just don't talk about it much, but when you do, anytime you're in meditation, you can access the fourth realm by closing your eyes and looking at it like looking behind your eyelids like it's a room that lost power. If you want to look at the fourth dimension, do it that way. You're going to see faces, you're going to see neon looking lights, stars. Sometimes you'll see familiar constellations back there, but you're going to see different star patterns because you're in the fourth realm, and that's everywhere that you could possibly see, everywhere and anywhere. Sometimes it'll be busy, sometimes it won't because this is a live area. Think of this like VR because you're looking at a live space. You could look up, down, you can even turn around if you want. But the fourth dimension, the safer she feels, the more she's going to show up. So this first activity, when you look behind your eyelids, what you're doing is you're saying to her, hey, if I can see you behind my eyelids, I'm also telling you, my love, that I'm ready to see you in my waking time with my eyes open. Because what she's been telling us in the angelic realm is she's ready to show up when our eyes are open, when we're driving around, and what the fourth realm looks like. She's drippy. So if you've ever put saran wrap in the microwave, which is really unhealthy, by the way, side note, but if you've ever done that and we've cooked it too much and it looks kind of goopy, that's what the fourth realm looks like. So if you look at a neutral colored wall, and you're not really looking at the wall, but focus on that. But if you can kind of see the room, you'll see the fourth realm show up. And you can even say to her, I give you permission to show up, you're safe. What you're going to see as you look at the neutral colored wall between you and the wall, the fourth realm will start to show up, and she just wants you to see kind of what her skin looks like. And it's this clear, like saran wrap that's been overcooked, kind of gluey, drippy stuff. And she's showing you the quality of the wall, of her skin, of her stuff. And within the fourth wall, that's where she houses all of the beings that don't have their skin on. And then when you're driving around, you might also, well, don't do it while you're driving. Let me take that back. But when you're outside, do the same thing when you look up at the sun, towards the clouds in the sunshine. Do it at night and just practice seeing the fourth realm, because what she's saying to us is she's ready to layer in to our third dimensional experience, because we're already in the fifth dimension and the third dimension. She's ready to show up. And I asked why, and she said, because there's so much kindness. Why not show up? She's ready to be here. And then I did kind of like an informal poll of the beings that are in the fourth dimension, and they said the same thing. They said that even though in our realm, we're still working on things like racism, prejudice. They said that is because we are working on that. They all feel comfortable showing up because we are working on the concept of other is not other and different are not necessarily bad.
Mm-hmm.
We're working through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're showing up to show us that. They're giving us another like object lesson
Mm-hmm.
to work through that because they're tired of us using each other
Yeah.
to work through that lesson.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I'm tired of it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really not what we signed up to do.
Yeah. So the more that I physically shift and change and let go of that heavier energy that's holding my physical structure and my belief systems in that heavier, denser energy, the more that I let it go, the more that I'm physically moving into the consciousness of the fourth dimension. Is that a way to describe it? So
Yeah.
okay, so then when I get into this fourth dimension, then that's when all of these beautiful spirits start coming to me. That's when I'm become more aware.
Yeah. Yes, but you don't have to get into the fourth dimension. You just let her come to you.
Okay.
And the way you let her come to you is by just looking for her.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just sit comfortably in a chair, and if you say to her, I'm ready to see you, honey. You're safe here. I love you. You could even set the room. She's very feminine. She likes good smells. She likes a tidy room. Don't pressure yourself, everybody listening to that. She likes a tidy room. If you don't have a tidy room, just clean a chair off for her so she can see it. Like it's like you're making an offering for her.
Mm-hmm.
My house is not totally clean. Don't pressure yourself. It's like you just clean off a corner of your table and say, this is for you, my love. Make it easy on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to do anything to prepare yourself in a major way for spirit. You're so loved already. But this is you just inviting the fourth dimension to you. But if you could do something small to raise your vibration, like, hey, I cleaned that corner off. I lit that candle and it smells good. You're raising your vibration and you're matching the fourth dimension. That's what you get to do.
Okay.
Maybe put a song on.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So once we master that, the fourth dimension practice or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So then what happens when the fifth dimension starts appearing to us individually? How do you define what the fifth dimension is and what are our experiences?
Well, we're already in the fifth dimension. It's already here. We're already there. So you'll start to notice more that you're in the fifth dimension because you will, in your life, you'll start to get hints from your angels that, hi, honey, you're in the fifth dimension. And those hints will kind of look like, some of them will be physical, like you're digesting better. You will have, right now, some people are experiencing a lot of ringing in their ears, and that's their angels moving their frequency up or faster so that they can match their fifth dimensional bodies. Our bodies are changing. Mm-hmm. So some people are noticing a lot of fatigue because their bodies are matching their 3D bodies, mm-hmm. and they're actually evolving into a 5D body. So we're experiencing a lot of fatigue. I know I am. That'll get better. Mm-hmm. Because you're going into what the angels call your crystalline body. Your crystalline body matches the frequency of your heaven body. It's going to take a while. You'll notice things like you're real thirsty because your third eye will dehydrate your limbic system in your brain. So you'll notice things like that. Check into your cues that your body's giving you and follow them. If you're hungry for something, eat it without guilt. Listen to yourself. And then the idea from the angels is surround yourself with high frequency things. You don't need to watch crime TV. You don't need to watch movies where people are hurting each other and drawing blood. You don't need that stuff. You really don't. Mm-hmm. Make a choice not to watch stuff that's connected to the 3D version of you that you're trying to leave behind. Make a choice. Because then it's not the 3D version of Earth that's showing up for you. You are matching it. You have a responsibility here. Just like what we talked about earlier, the angels aren't supposed to show up for you and clear things up. This is a collaboration. So this is your part to match the 5D experience that you've been longing for. The 5D is already there. The template the timeline already there because you constructed it. We all constructed it a long time ago. We mapped it out. We did it in the spirit world. We did it with Creator.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided, all right, it's done. So let's incarnate little by little. And then when we get there, we're going to forget. We're going to mess it up. We're going to draw on it. We're going to mess it up. We're going to spill ketchup on it. All these things. We're going to write on the wall. And then we're going to little by little remember that it's there. We're in the remembering process.
Yeah.
So this is how we remember. We bring our vibe back up. And as we bring our vibe back up, our angels their job is to help us remember. The 3D world is dying. The fourth dimension, all of those beings, they remember now the fifth dimension because they're not in body anymore. So they can see it. They can give us little clues like, hey, you see that flower over there? If you look at it and you smell it, you're going to remember the fifth dimension better than if you just walk by it. So remember that the signs and symbols from spirit, they're part of your remembering journey as well. Don't get too busy.
Yeah. Don't get too busy is really important. Here and now, be in the present moment. Okay, so let's jump to the multiverse.
Okay.
What is your understanding of the multiverse and the significance of it?
The multiverse is, wow. Well, let me say that Source, God, however you define God, desires to grow so much that when a being is created, that being is created in a way that that being can fractal out in so many pieces like a diamond so that God can grow. Not in an ego-based way because God has no ego.
Mm-hmm.
But the objective there is that when, let's say it's a person, when a person is created, that person has so many facets or fractals. When that person has an infinite amount of lifetimes happening at once, what happens there is that that being or that person is growing so much at the same time because that person doesn't just have one lifetime, but so many lifetimes happening at once. And they're uploading that wisdom all the time back to God. Well, then God can share that wisdom to the rest of the universe. So we're all growing from that one being, but it's happening with every single being on this planet plus every planet. But it's not just the people, but it's the grass. It's every speck of dirt has that going on for them. I mean, it hurts the brain, right?
Yeah.
But God is creating every being, whether animate or inanimate, because we now know that every thing has a consciousness in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that is constructed is if I, Rachel, if I make a decision that is major to me, I have children. Well, there's a version of me in the multiverse that does not have children.
Mm-hmm.
So she is learning everything in that existence that would give her wisdom about that journey. What's it like to not have children? And that's getting uploaded. And then in meditation, not because I'm an angel, anyone can do this. I can go into that data and travel through meditation. It may feel like I'm making it up, but I'm not. What is that Rachel learning from that experience? And is there anything I can learn from that experience that could help me now? I can do that through meditation. Why? Because it belongs to me. It's mine. And not only are there multiverse lifetimes, but there are other lifetimes that maybe we used to call past lifetimes that are still me, my consciousness, but I'm in a different costume, different time period, maybe different gender. And those are also in my multiverse. We have all of that. And what's the why? Well, because God loves us so much. God wants us to experience as much as we can. And also so God can grow. God wants to grow because God loves us. And wants to give us as much experience as we can, and God wants to share that experience with us. That's the multiverse.
Yeah. So, what's your definition of God?
God is not a decision maker who says you have cancer, you don't. Mm-mm. God is not male or female that I've seen. God is made of pure energy. And God seems to appear to people in the form of their belief system. And when I've seen God appear to people, it can be through a representative, Jesus, the Buddha, Muhammad. And I have seen people actually speak to God's itself. I have seen that before.
Mm.
I've been present for that or near to that before. But I have not seen God in a true form where he's been an old man on a cloud. That's not the true form of God. But when I've been around God, it's a feeling. I had this in one of my near-death experiences. When I left my body, it's a feeling of, gosh, going back into my body was not with me. My voice was. But all of a sudden, I was going into this. It was this kind of, the color was a navy blue, a dark, dark navy blue. They weren't stars, but they were almost like I had the word molecules in my mind. I was moving forward, and there was a very kind voice speaking to me. And the voice was a male voice, I'll tell you. And the voice was saying, "Welcome home." And as this voice was speaking to me, I had this feeling of the most unbelievable love that I have never felt in my life. And when I was coming back into my body, I was so sad because I didn't want to come back. But I came back because I have children.
Mm.
And that's the only reason I came back. I did not want to come back because I have a really good life, I'll tell you. But I didn't want to come back. See, it was just the most amazing love. And that's what God is. It's love we do not have here on earth. I've never felt that before. It has a quality to it. I love my children more than I've loved any other beings. I'm in such love with my husband. I have 2 cats that I love like children, and yet I have never felt love like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. So, what are some practical tips for accessing the quantum realm? And we didn't really talk about time traveling, but time traveling
Mhm.
as well. So, can you talk about that?
Yeah. So with the quantum realm, the idea of looking behind the eyelids is very solid. Um, and I would add to that, giving your body a signal that you're going into the quantum by perhaps putting an eye mask on so your body knows that this isn't sleep time, but going into the quantum realm time could be a good idea. And then there are, and yeah, I'm also hearing from the angels, putting something in your ears like a brown noise or some burgundy noise. There are different qualities of white noise that go on the color scale.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea too. They are recommending that people don't use any guided meditations when going into the quantum. And if you start to think about anything that's earth related, like your grocery list or something like that, you won't be in the quantum. You'll snap right out. So just some tips there, they said.
Yeah.
And to remember that this is all in play. Keep it playful. Then let's see where else they're taking me here. Oh, they said, ask to see us. This is a question and answer space. You are not alone in this space, and you are safe. Everything we're asking you to do is safe. You are never in danger because God creates all. There are different levels of frequency, and there are some lower frequency beings, higher frequency beings, but all is created by God. So someone listening needs to hear that. And then another way to access the quantum is to go outside at night and say to the night sky, I'm specifically accessing the quantum at this time, and to look between or into a constellation. So you're using the sky as a portal.
Mhm.
So I've not done that before. I've never heard them say that before. I'm so excited to try that.
Yeah.
And then there's a third thing they're telling me that I just need to let come in. It's scrying, using a crystal ball or getting a bowl with water. And they're saying you can use that to gaze into it and go into the quantum.
Mm.
So one might look up scrying,
Mhm.
an ancient practice.
Yeah. 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 I don't hear too much about scrying anymore.
Oh, I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah. So what's the difference between, okay, so we're going to go into the quantum realm. Number one, why? And what is the significance of time travel? And being able to jump into these different dimensions. And also, like I know that we can discover maybe some gifts that we haven't recognized on earth in this form. So can you kind of help people understand why this is significant?
This thing's significant because we are multidimensional beings, and we're being taught right now that even though this earth life seems so real and definite, this is us, this is it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. This is one fractal of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it has reality to it. Yeah, good job. You created it with source and your guides. Nice work. And also, it's just a little bit of you. And there's so much more to discover. And not from a self-centered narcissistic way. No, from a wholly loving perspective. You get to know more about yourself. And the more you know about yourself, the more you get to fall in love with yourself. And the more you fall in love with yourself and know yourself, the closer you get to source. And the more you know source, the more you get to feel confident about yourself and expand yourself, and you will no longer feel limited. You can grow more. That's what this is about, because the angels tell me there's too many people on earth now that feel limited by the earth rules.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to be limited. We've been told things like stay small. Don't do that. Just stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shine so bright. And there are even some rules here that were never meant to be, like rules about money, rules about who's in charge, male versus female, female versus male. It's time to rewrite those and become equals again. And about our spiritual gifts that have been hidden, it's time to bring those out.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts with us as individuals remembering who we are and our connection to source, our connection to each other, which really is the same as our connection to source. That's what this is about. So we get to go on a journey with ourselves and find what's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, again, it's finding our true identity to where we haven't
I just
really.
heard the angels say it's the most exciting staycation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Okay. So, and I realized that as you were channeling that information, I didn't introduce you as a channel. So,
Doesn't matter.
so who are you channeling?
Well, I don't always know. As an angel, I am an open channel for anybody. That felt like source coming right in.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so as you're in the mode of channeling now, it's about time for us to wrap this up. So, do you have a message that you feel that everybody, your guides, feel that we need to hear at this time?
Yeah. I'm getting a message from the angel that stands at the door of the fourth realm. And she says, "We are so happy you visited us today. And there is no code, password, or key to the door of the fourth realm. All are welcome. We want you to know that the way to bring the fourth realm to your awareness is to be right with your own heart and to be comfortable with your fear. There is nothing in the fourth realm that knows harm. There are beings here that are loud and boisterous. We love that here. We don't have a quiet button. Be aware of that. But tell us, please, your comfort level so we know how to show up." So good to know, everyone.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you are one who does not prefer loud visitors, tell the guide at the door.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so you have so many offerings to assist people in their growth. And again, I think we're at this time where so many people are feeling a little bit lost and confused of who they are. And again, it's like, am I supposed to be over here? Am I supposed to be over here? And I don't know which way to go. And struggling with, if I leave this way of being, I don't know who I'm going to become. And relationships ending, and I'm afraid to let go of relationships and all of that kind of thing. So tell us some sources or tell us your resources that you provide that can assist in individuals' growth and assist them in this transformation period.
Thank you for asking me that. It brings me such joy to meet with people every day and help them access their soul blueprint. This is something that you likely met with me before you were born, or other seraphim angels, to map out your soul blueprint. You made choices with us and your ancestors before you were born to map out, I might call them your milestones. These are things that you planned before you were born that probably don't change. And these are the big things that you set out to do before you got here. And then, of course, you have a lot of free will choices that you weave in as you're here. We can look at those things together, and your soulmate group and all those wonderful things. So, of course, we can look at that and talk to your loved ones on the other side and your sweet animals. We can talk to your living animals. You are welcome to go to my website and see all of those lovely things that I have to offer, and I would just love to sit with you. Sometimes I offer classes. I have some coming up, so you can go to my website and look for those. And yeah, of course, I have my podcast if you want to just check that out. It's called Angel Talk, and it's on all platforms. And yeah, that's me.
Great. Thank you. So what is your website?
It's my name, Rachel Corpus, Corpus.com.
Awesome. Okay, so and just for you guys, her website will be listed at the bottom of the video description. So just scroll down at the video description, and then just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we'll have that contact information for you. So Rachel, thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. I'm so grateful for it. And for all of you guys, as always, thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time.